All right, we're back talking about articles. So we're on the second page of our handout here. I want us to remember something we talked about earlier in the semester, the difference between count nouns and non-count nouns. Because if we understand these, it will help us understand articles a little bit. We're into the really messy part of understanding articles. Remember I said articles, they're easy to remember which words are articles because there are only two, the and a or an. But the rules about articles are very complex and there are lots of exceptions to them. So they're very difficult to learn, especially if we're coming to English as our second or third language. So a count noun is a noun. It's a person, a place, or a thing that we can count. They're separate and we can count them, like a bottle. 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 3 bottles, 4 bottles. I can count bottles, right? Or a car. 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars. I can count the cars. So bottle and car and tree are all count nouns. Non-count nouns are things or people or places that I can't count. Things mostly, like water. I can't say a water. I could say a glass of water, then glass would be the noun that was modifying. I can say a bottle of water, then bottle would be the noun that is modifying. But I can't say a water. Now, we do this today, but we say, can you give me a water from that box over there? What we really mean is give me a bottle of water or give me a container of water, right? We're just shortening it. I can't say a milk. I could say a carton of milk, then carton would be the word that is modifying. Or a container of milk, but I can't say a milk. I can't say 1 milk, 2 milks, 3 milks. I can't say 1 water, 2 waters, 3 waters, right? Or candy. You can't say, give me a candy. What you mean, if you say that, is give me a piece of candy or give me a bar of candy. In that case, piece or bar is the noun, the count noun that or a is modifying. All right, by the way, you can say either a or a, either way. All right, so whether nouns are count nouns or non-count nouns helps us a little bit with rules. For example, the is used with count nouns all the time. Any count noun almost can use a the in front of it if we mean a specific bottle, a specific car, a specific tree. I can say the tree, that specific tree. But the can be, when we have non-count nouns, we can use the or we can leave it out. Sometimes either way. So look, it says, I love to sail over the water, right? A specific body of water, the sea or just water in general, the water. Or I can say, I love to sail over water. I can use the or not use the, either way. I can say, he spilled the milk all over the floor. Or he spilled milk all over the floor. I can say it either way. Those are non-count nouns. I can use the or not use the, pretty much as I choose. But a or an can only be used with, not with count nouns. A or an can only be used with count nouns, not with non-count nouns. As you've seen, we can't say, give me a candy, give me a milk. But I can use a with count nouns. I need a bottle of water. Bottles can be counted. I need a new glass of milk. Glass. We can count glasses. You couldn't say, give me a cheese. Cheese is a non-count noun. We can't say 1 cheese, 2 cheeses, 3 cheeses, 4 cheeses. We may mean 1 kind of cheese or one type of cheese, two types of cheese, three types of cheese, or pieces of cheese, right? Or kinds of cheese, in which case type or piece are what the article is modifying. All right, and then just to make things even bigger, a bigger mess, we sometimes use the with geographical places. So we say, for example, the names of countries. We don't use the before specific names of countries, I should say. So we don't say the Italy or the Mexico. We just say Mexico or Italy. But we do if it is a specific group of countries, like, or places. The Netherlands. We don't say Netherlands, we say the Netherlands. We say the Dominican Republic. We say the United States. So now I can see why we might say the United States. It's a group of states, right? And the Netherlands, it's a group of provinces or something. But the Dominican Republic, I don't really understand why we just don't say Dominican Republic rather than the Dominican Republic. It's got something to do with republic, right? We don't use the in front of the names of cities or towns. We don't say the Miami, we just say Miami. We don't use it before the names of streets. We don't say the Washington Boulevard, we just say Washington Boulevard. There's a list of some other places, geographical places, when we do or don't use the in front of. We also, there are some places where we don't use an article ever. So we don't use an article before the names of nationalities or languages. So we don't say she speaks the Chinese. We say she speaks Chinese. We don't say she speaks the English. We just say English. But if we're referring to the population of a nation, we say the Spanish people, the Spanish, right? The Spanish are known for their hospitality. So if we're talking about a group of people, we would put the in front of it. We don't say the in front of the names of sports. We don't say, I'm going to play the volleyball, right? I'm going to go play volleyball, not the volleyball. We don't use articles in front of the names of subjects in school. We don't say, I'm taking the mathematics or the biology or the history. We just say, I'm taking mathematics or biology or history. All right? Now, from these things that are listed at the bottom of our handout, you can see that the rules about when we use the or the rules are very, very specific, and there are lots of exceptions to them. So finally, my final point here, there's some exercises here that you can try, and if you have questions about them, you can bring them up during the online class, or you can email me, or you can find me in chat in Canvas and ask me. But the basic thing that I want you to take away or remember about this, articles are a mess. Lots of rules, lots of exceptions, lots of things that just don't make sense about them. So how do we learn how to use articles correctly? Well, if English is our native language, if it's the first language we speak, we learn how to use them correctly by listening to the adults and other people speaking around us. Nobody tells us the rules about them. We just learn by hearing them used around us. But if English is our second or our third or our fourth language, the best way to learn when we use articles and when we don't use articles is to read a lot. Because when we read a lot, we have many, many chances to see articles used correctly, used or not used correctly, right? So reading, again, always a really important way to develop a language, and particularly a new language. one of the best ways to learn about using articles. The other good thing is that if we are a second language learner of English or third or fourth, and we're students, over time, remember it takes 7 to 10 years on average to learn how to use a new language academically. So as we go on through school, as we progress on through college, as we're hearing English spoken around us, as we're reading a lot, as we're doing our own writing and teachers are responding to us, we will slowly begin to accumulate an understanding of how to use articles correctly. All right? All right. Thank you.